was very pleased to read that Frauke used the, well, I would say article of Michael Schratz, which describes very nicely what a European teacher's competences are, so to say. And I'm also, well, a big fan of his ideas, for example, that we, besides our mother tongue, should be able to be, well, not fluent, but we could help ourselves in at least 2 other European languages, which in the country where I'm living at the moment is already a burden. And if you start speaking Dutch where you should speak French, or the other way around, that could be, you know, you could be offensive to some person. So that idea of Schratz was for me something, and I thought, well, wow, if this would function in my own country, which is Belgium, then that would be wonderful.
Right.
So that was a personal motivation for me. My expectations are that, or were and still are, that if you would go through the FACEIT project and have followed the course of European and international teachership, or how to become a European teacher, that you will be offered tools to enlarge your narrow scope of Belgium and the little village where I'm in, and find tools how to get in touch with other teachers. Those were my expectations, so not only gaining knowledge about being a teacher in Europe, but also really practicing it, getting involved with other Europeans. Well, I can only answer this for the module European citizenship. I'm sorry to say. I've tried to get an idea of what the others are making, and but we meet only once a year, actually, with the whole group, and then, well, then everybody says this is the state of the art. Beginning of the final conference, dissemination conference. So I hope that by the end of Thursday, in 2 days when the conference is over with, that I can tell you what I found the most successful part of the whole module or the whole course. But through being involved with internationalization or international relations for 12 years now, is that basically the problems are more or less all over Europe the same. They're all paying a house, they're all, of course, the circumstances are different, but we're all human beings, and these stereotypes that are fed by, for example, soccer games or whatever, yes, if you stick to that, you never get a real in-depth conversation with Europeans, with humans actually. So what I hope is that a student, well, for me it should be obliged actually. I seriously mean this, somehow down those 3 years of becoming a teacher, or 4 years, you should at least have at least a month or so. Well, the course we created is for a whole semester. That might be a bit too much, but let's say a trimester, or 10 or 15 credits out of the 60 you have in a year on being a teacher within Europe or within the world even. And if well, if we somehow if schools will accept it, then I'm sure that the materials we have made, that will be very helpful. Because not only, and then I don't only talk about European citizenship, I also talk about the identity, the diversity, school concepts in Europe that are differently. So those are the 4 topics within this course. And yeah, well, if that course would have existed when I was a teacher in training, then I would definitely go for that course.
So you think that broadly the course as it now is stands a good chance of making a positive contribution to a student's development as a European teacher?
The parts of it, of course. The part I saw, it's a product at the end, and I think there were 26 people involved or something, and everybody had its own little stamp on the product. So it's yeah, I cannot say that it has that it is a, you know, like a perfect textbook written by one author or by a group of authors that saw each other on a regular basis. We have all been working on this from our parts of Europe, and it's an assemblage of different things, but there are really some diamonds in there where if they would pick them out, that would give our student another perspective, offer another perspective, or tools to open up your own environment, and if they would only start learning to collaborate with others, then this might be the initiator, and the spin-off effect will be real life, I think.
Right.
So.
Right. And is that what you hope will happen, that as a student takes this course, he'll either mine the diamonds, as you call them, for himself or herself, or are you hoping that teachers will actually identify those key features for them?
We had serious debates on this. Will it be an online tool that they can follow themselves? We don't think so. We think it needs to be blended. Partly they can do it by themselves. Yes, I will, but I will also, I have to tell you honestly that sometimes it is a bit of one-man or a one-institution show, and that's what I try to avoid in the future. So the handing in of these application forms of the IP was nice, and it was supported by my institute, but very often just me and 2 or 3 colleagues, whereas I would like to have this spread. So
within your institute?
Within the institute, yes. And that's something that I'm glad that a colleague of mine is also involved now in FACEIT, and I hope that if there are future projects that I will find even more colleagues too. So what we did was we wrote articles about what we've done here, that it was relatively okay to do. You didn't ask 20 weekends in a year, etc. So to overcome the sort of to give an answer to the resistance that there is with a lot of my colleagues to be involved in European projects. Not all of them, and excuse those who are very active, but well, could be a bit more, I think.
Okay, good. Is there anything that you would want to say about the FACEIT project and your involvement with it that you haven't been able to reflect on in the last few minutes?
Well, not really. I'm sorry. I think from the state of the art this far I've said it.
Fine. Okay. Good. Thank you very much. That's great. Thank you.